Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Landis, and I'm a third year student at Arizona State University. And I'm currently majoring in counseling and applied psychological sciences. And this is my 5-minute presentation about an informative interview I conducted for the class that I'm in, Career Development 250, for the fall A session of the semester. So for my informational interview, I conducted an in-person interview with a man named David who lives in Seattle, Washington. David works as a accounts receivable manager in Seattle and has worked for a variety of companies. And he's had different roles, whether it was as an employee or as a private contractor. And I chose to interview David because this is kind of a field I've been a little interested in. It was like in general financial wealth management and for companies or individuals. And while I'm currently starting to become a mental health counselor, I wanted to explore this other option as well. And I actually got to meet David at the Starbucks I work at. And I just decided to go through with the interview, and it was really fun. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the ideas or my assumptions that I had going into this interview. And one of my assumptions I had about being an accounts receivable manager was that it was very similar to a bookkeeper, and that they would maybe just manage a team and essentially record sales, pay invoices, and just kind of help process payroll. But I found some of these assumptions were right, and some of these assumptions weren't right, and that David's job in general was a lot more expansive than I first believed. So I learned in our interview that while an accounts manager, receivable manager, does in a sense help manage the books what they're really their main role is managing company-wide operations and functions. And these functions include managing receipts, investigating and following up with accounts that have a past due balance, and presenting reports to their boss about these accounts receivables. And the primary role or the focus of David's job was a lot less centered on bookkeeping, but much more focused on billing and collections, actually. David's basic workflow is he'd get into the office, check his email, review the details of the accounts receivables that they're currently following up with, check and respond to emails, check in with staff and clarify their goals throughout the week, write action plans for maintaining good customer service while also being able to follow up about client invoices. And he would do a lot of one-on-one meetings with his staff. And some of the difficulties David had in this job role was that he came in and the prior accounts receivable manager had a very outdated log of the people who have paid their accounts. So he had to go back years essentially, and with very little or minimal information follow up with clients. And he's done it for 15 years now, and he really enjoys it. And that was just one of the bigger things he was highlighting on how that was difficult. But according to David, a lot of the keys to be successful in this field are having a thick skin, because you deal with kind of some volatile customers, being able to interact with clients and your team well, and to be able to break down complex information into easy to digest chunks and be able to present that to your boss or the people who in the company who need to know the information. I felt like the interview was very smooth. I really enjoyed it. David was super fun to talk to, just surprisingly really pleasant. And I think I could have probably done a little more research prior to this interview and learned a little more about his job role going into it. But I'm very happy with the interview and how it went. And I felt like I learned quite a bit. And, I couldn't see myself necessarily entering into this career field, considering it's much more about collections than I originally had thought and less about the actual financial management. But I will say, I really appreciate the opportunity to conduct an interview and kind of get myself out there, have that experience. And I do think, in general, if I become a mental health counselor, this is a beneficial thing to highlight for me. That if I work for myself or a private practice, I really need to learn how to do that at some point. So I really enjoyed the conducting this interview and filming this, and that's it for my presentation. Thank you.